Hi, this is Shea, and this is the vlog for May. Firstly, a happy heavenly birthday to my beloved father on May 7th. Then, to all the mothers on Mother's Day, God bless you all, those who are still with us and those who are in heaven. We love you and we thank you for your love, and we pray God bless you. And then with honor to Memorial Day, for those who served in the military and gave the ultimate sacrifice, their lives. And then I want to honor the memory of George Floyd, who also died on Memorial Day. George Floyd, who was mercilessly brutalized and murdered in full view of onlookers. There was no fear of God in these few pathetic, dirty bad cops. There was no fear of God in their accomplices, the two other cops who helped to pin him down, and the one cop who just stood there and kept everybody at bay so they could not help George. God will strike them down. And for all who have been wrongfully abused and murdered by despicable evil people, our country is in chaos right now. And sometimes, when people don't listen, things have to get lit up. I heard a man say, think of it as being on an island. You're screaming for help. You're sending out messages. You're sending up flares, SOSs. You're screaming at the top of your lungs for someone to help. And nobody does anything. So then you take the boat that you were shipwrecked in and you light it up. And then people take notice. I do not encourage violence. But through history, when push comes to shove and you have to defend yourself, then being nonviolent means you have to be violent. The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. There's a bit of a revolution going on right now, but that's how America started, with the Tea Party. We revolted. So this man, George Floyd, doing something that a lot of people are doing, not to condone it, trying to pass off a bad check. That's a nonviolent act. And then in strolls these few cops who lie and say he was resisting arrest. We see he was not. Pin him down. And that one cop puts his knee on his neck and leans in real hard with his hands in his pocket for over 8 minutes while George is screaming, crying, pleading, crying out for his mother, crying out for someone to help him, crying out in pain. And he says, I'm through. He lost consciousness, and that cop just kept his knee on his neck. So for all who have been wrongfully abused and murdered by despicable people, and our country has a bad history of white-on-black abuse, white-on-black crime, enough is enough. I also do not believe this is just a white against black thing. It's never just a color thing. Never. It's a soul thing. It's a spirit thing. It's good versus evil. God versus Satan. But for those evil, despicable people who abuse their power to prey upon and try to and succeed in destroying others, there's no honor for these creeps who are really cowards. They have so little in their hearts, so little in their minds, but they insist on spewing out their putrid inwards onto others. Sadly, these type of people are not happy unless they're abusing or mistreating others. But it's a sick happiness, because they are really never happy. They're wicked and they're miserable. They are driven by their own evilness. They are frauds. They're servants of Satan. They're manipulators who seek to control and or destroy that which they cannot control. God teaches our hands to war. Remember David with Goliath? There is always a time for everything. There is a time for peace, and there is a time for war. There is a time to mend, and there is a time to rend, to tear, to shred. When Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah, returns, he won't be returning in peace. He won't be that sweet little lamb. He'll be a warrior who will strike and destroy his enemies. And now is the time to strike back, to end this violence and this abuse. No more being silent, no more waiting, no more looking the other way, no more hoping, no more pleading. It's time for action, and action has been taken. Unfortunately, it's not pretty. Violence, riots are never pretty. Neither is war, and this is war. This is war against evil, against abuse. There will be no more tolerating abuse of the underdog, no more tolerating the oppressors. It is time to render the enemy null and void. As Martin Luther King once said, a riot is the language of the unheard, of unmet promises for freedom and justice. Today is May 30th, and we will see what each day brings. My hope and my prayer is that there will be reform and that there will be justice. There will be accountability, that we will not be led by blind hate, that we will not move in blind rage, but we will move in the strategies of God to defeat evil and to win victories for that which is good and right and just. I hope you all have good and safe days. My prayers are with those who grieve, with those who are suffering, with those who are hurting, with those who are angry. I'll see y'all soon.